Hey guys, good morning. Mr. Nash here. Today is Tuesday, and this is the video lesson for the week. It'll have an assignment attached to it, just like the last few weeks, and that assignment is going to be due on Friday. All right, so we're going to be doing just a little bit of a continuation of what we did last week and working with the information that we came up with for our restaurant or a barbershop and how we're going to reopen it and keep it open. So we're going to be working with that information. So get that information out. We're going to be using it again. And today I'm going to do a quick lesson on this effective communication. I typically, when I do this in the classroom, it's usually done really the first week or two of the class because it sets up the students in the class really for success when they present information, during a presentation orally, because I do a lot of presentations in my class, and it just helps them really throughout high school and beyond. So I feel this is really important. Typically spend a few days on this, but we'll kind of skim the surface on this. If you take me next year or the years after that, we'll take a deeper dive into this. It'll absolutely help you guys out through high school and beyond when you get your first job and you get started in your career. And typically, I teach the language of presenting. So I spent about 20 years in corporate America before becoming a teacher. A lot of that involved selling to people. And when you sell, you have to be a very good communicator in writing, speaking on the telephone, and presenting in front of people. So there's a real art to it. And really the only way to get better at it is just practice. You got to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and follow some of these techniques that I'm going to present to you guys today. And again, it just takes practice. It took me 20 years to kind of become a very good communicator and negotiate, and see different people's perspectives and communicate through that. So it takes a while to actually perfect this, but again, this is just we're going to skim the surface today on this video, and we're going to look at some ways to be an effective communicator. All right, so let me put this up for you guys. All right, so I've got a lot of stuff I'm going to put on the board today, so hopefully it works and doesn't get too crowded. All right, so effective communication. Kind of what is that? And today it's going to be effective communication on in presenting or talking in front of groups. Okay. And I know that a lot of people out there don't like to speak in front of groups. I was one of those individuals as well. But you want to kind of use that nervousness, use it for yourself. Drive it deep inside and use it, as a strength for yourself. So some key things to think about or learn about being an effective communicator. I've got a list of some things that I want to teach you guys. Two things. Know your audience. So who's your audience that you're going to be speaking with? Is it a bunch of teachers? Is it a bunch of business owners? Is it your peers, your students, your friends? Who's your audience? For the assignment that we're going to be doing for today, which is due on Friday, your audience is going to be your customers. Okay, your audience, it's going to be your customers. So those of you who chose to be the CEO or own a McDonald's, it's going to be the customers that are coming into the McDonald's. For those of you that chose the salon or barbershop, your audience is going to be your customers that are coming in for a haircut for that day. Also, engage your audience, right? Don't just stand up there when you're presenting and talking to people and just stay in one spot. You want to kind of walk around the room, engage the audience, ask questions. Always make eye contact. And when you're talking to people, don't just make eye contact just with one person. Move around the room a little bit. Talk to everybody in that room. Engage them. And allow them to engage you too with questions. So know your audience, really important. And then engaging your audience as well, just as important. Let's say you're doing a presentation and the audience you think that you're going to be speaking to are 5-year-old kids, right? So you bring a presentation to them into this class, and you think it's going to be 5-year-old children, but in actuality, it's adults. right? So you go into that classroom and it's a bunch of adults that you have to present to. So don't you think that your presentation that you thought was for 5-year-old children is going to be way, way different than it would be for adults. So that's what I mean by know your audience. Okay. The second three things I want to talk about that'll help you with effective communication. You want to speak clearly. So enunciate your words. You don't have to talk really fast. It's okay to slow down. I know we up here in the Northeast, we tend to talk fast. In Jersey, we talk fast. I lived in other parts of the country, and I had to like think about slowing myself down, right? Because people don't talk as fast as we do here. So, but speak clearly, enunciate your words. Tone of voice, really, really, really important. Is the tone of your voice. So, if you want to convey some kind of information that is really important that you're excited about, you don't want to be monotone. You want to get excited about it. You want to project your voice and maybe increase the volume of your voice to make it impactful, right? So make it impactful. So you want to focus on the tone of your voice. And another one, this is really, really important, is the pace of your speech, the pace of how you talk. So there's going to be times where you're going to be talking normally, just like this. And there's going to be times where you're going to slow that conversation down, and you do that to be more impactful. So an example of that would be, here's not a good example of how to do it, would be, today we have 30% off on all our meals at McDonald's. So you see how it's all kind of monotone and just really paced out quick. Better way to do it, so to control the pace or the flow of that sentence, would be this. Today, we have 30% off on all our meals at McDonald's. So it breaks the sentence down into three parts, and it allows your audience or the person that's listening to you to kind of register that sentence in his or her brain and process it. So it's an important point of what you're trying to convey, the 30% off on meals, because you're trying to get people into your restaurant. And by controlling the pace of the sentence, of how the words are said, makes it more impactful. So sometimes when you slow things down, it allows that audience to register and really listen and take in what you're actually saying. Okay. Two other things, pretty simple, but really, really important. Be friendly, right? Always, always be friendly. You never know who's going to be in the room, right? You never know who you're going to be talking to. It could be a CEO of a company, and they could offer you a job on the spot, right? Smile. Be friendly and smile. Nobody likes someone that's kind of just sitting up there, frown on their face, no emotion. They want to see someone that's friendly, that smiles a lot, right? And is able to communicate in a friendly manner, and be confident. Be confident, people. And this is something that's just learned over time. You get more comfortable with yourself, right? It took me a long time to gain my confidence. I was never confident that much in high school. I was kind of quiet kid. But just over the years, I became confident, just became comfortable with myself. And being confident when you're speaking in front of people is a huge aspect of conveying the right message and allowing people to entrust you, right, with what you're trying to say to them. Stand up tall, put those shoulders back, and exude this aura around you, this confidence, right? It's going to go a long way when you're presenting and when you're communicating to people. So again, be friendly, be confident. You want to speak clearly, right? Enunciate those words. Control the tone of your voice. Does it get louder, or does it get softer? Sometimes I use this in the classroom when no one's really listening. I'll talk really, really low, and it, for some odd reason, it gets the attention of the class, and they start to pay attention. And pace. Control the pace of how you speak. So I just did it there. I just did a couple little breaks in that sentence to be more engaging, and it allows you to process the information a little bit. And the last two, which were the first two that we started with, know your audience. Are you going to be speaking to a group of 5-year-olds, or is it going to be a group of adults? And again, for this project that you're going to be doing, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Your audience are going to be your clients. Your audience is going to be your clients, and then engage the audience. Be engaging. By being friendly, using the tone, controlling the pace. Typically, when you are presenting, engage that audience with questions and allow them to engage you back, right, with questions if they have some. Okay, so they are just some tidbits of things that will help you to become a more effective communicator. Again, if you guys take my classes next year and the year after that and beyond, we'll take a deep dive into this, and we'll start going over this along with a lot of other effective communication styles that will help you guys out, and use sentence stems to create transitions between slides and how you speak to people, and really allows you to become an effective communicator. What are we going to be? Oh, one more thing too. I forgot. Nonverbals, right? So nonverbals are things like your body language, right? So are you leaning into the audience? Or are you cowering back, right? Eye contact. I talked about that before. Make sure you make eye contact with your audience. Always, 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 always. There's so many times where I see people presenting and they just look at the board, or they look at their slides. Nah, that's not the way you do it. You got to engage your audience. You look out there. You basically control the audience, looking at them right in the eyes. And then use your hands. It's totally fine. I use my hands all the time. It allows you to just be more effective with your communication. Step 1, step 2, step 3. You can say, hey guys, I want you to pay attention. You need to listen to this, or you're going to love this stuff. So it's okay to use your hands. Absolutely use it. It makes communication a little bit more effective. All right, so you will be using all this stuff with this exercise, this activity. And again, it's going to be due on Friday. So what actually are we going to be doing? Typically, when I teach this lesson, it's like 3 or 4 or 5 days of instruction and activities, and it ends with a Google slide or a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation where the student has to come up in front of the class and use these different techniques that you're going to be learning in the classroom. To simulate that, because we can't really present in front of the class right now, you're going to make your own commercial. That's right. You will be coming up with a commercial that relates to the work that we did last week, as if you were the McDonald's restaurant owner, or as if, excuse me, you were the salon or the barber owner. So again, you're going to be creating your own commercial. And it all relates to effective communication, okay? So you're going to create your own commercial, and I'll get into the directions and what's expected of you guys. So what needs to be in the commercial? Okay, so here we go. What needs to be in this commercial, guys? And don't be nervous with this. Have fun. Be creative. Pull your family in. Your mom, your dad, your brothers or sisters, your dog. Dress them up like an employee or something like that, or a customer. And have fun with it. Engage the audience. Have fun with it. And be creative always. So what needs to be included in the commercial? Introduce yourself. Introduction of you and your company. Okay. Second thing that needs to be in there are the steps that you're taking to protect your customers, right? This is the stuff that you came up with last week. So what are those things that you're going to do for the customer to protect them, to protect the employees? You're going to list it. Right? But we're going to talk about it. You're going to talk about it verbally on this commercial. And then just a small conclusion, kind of to wrap up the commercial. Thank them for their time. I can't wait to see you guys back in the restaurant or back in for a haircut. And then come up with your own little tagline to end it. All right, so what's a tagline? So example of a tagline would be like, for Nike's tagline is just do it, right? In all commercials, they always pretty much have that. So come up with your own restaurant or your barbershop or salon's tagline. So you hear my tagline all the time. Right before I end the video, I'll always say, and this is Mr. Nash signing off, and I'll see you when I see you. So I say that always. That's the tagline I came up with. I have no idea why I did it. I just started to say it one day while making these videos. So that's my tagline. So you got to come up with your own tagline at the end of your commercial. Okay. So again, introduction of you and your company, right? the steps that you're going to take in terms of protecting your customers, which is what we came up with last week. And then just kind of conclude it, wrap up the commercial, and include your tagline at the end. Okay, so tagline at the end. All right, so let me put that up. All right, here's the directions, and I'm going to write this out for you guys in detail on the classroom. So you'll use this video and the directions to kind of complete this assignment. So what are the directions? Pretty simple. You need to write out your script of what you're actually going to say. So a script is just the words that you're going to talk about. So you're going to really write out your introduction of what you're going to say. The middle part is going to be the steps of how you're going to protect the customer, your clients, and your employees. And then the third part would be of the script would just be like your conclusion. How do you wrap up your commercial and your tagline, right? You're allowed to practice with that script over and over again before you do your commercial. So definitely practice before you record your commercial. Step 2, record your video. Video your commercial. The commercial has to be under 2 minutes. So don't go crazy doing a 15-minute commercial. Keep it under 2 minutes. 2 minutes or less. 2 minutes is actually a long time. So, I'm really expecting to see probably a minute or less on this, and that's totally fine. But guys, please remember, be creative with this. Like I said, bring in your family, have them in the video, have some kind of a song going on. Just be really creative. Dress up like a CEO or like an owner of a company, right? Play the part. Act as if you are that owner of that restaurant or that salon or barber. So be really creative. And then step 3, just submit your script and your video to the classroom. That's it. I found that making these videos for you, the best way for me to do it I created my own little YouTube page. I do all my videos on my phone, and then I attach them to my YouTube page, and then that gets attached to the classroom. That is the easiest way to do it, guys. You can do this as a TikTok video if you want and submit it that way. Really be creative. How you submit this and how you record, it's up to you. I'm leaving it on you. Also, really quick, we haven't done this yet, but I want to see how this rolls. You are allowed to use a partner with this. So you can partner up with someone in the classroom if you'd like to record your videos. So if you do that, just pick one of the partners, either the restaurant or the salon, and you guys are both going to record the commercial on either the restaurant or the salon, right? You don't need 2 separate commercials, just one. How do you do this? I'm not really sure. You can probably do a Zoom meeting and record it, and it'll show both participants on the Zoom meeting, and you can do a commercial just like that with the block tiles. Just be creative. You can use someone else with your video, a classmate or a friend that you have in class to do the video together. So it gives a little bit more sense of collaborative sense in the classroom and working with a partner, which I know I miss, and I'm sure that you guys do as well. So that is the lesson. That is the assignment. Again, it's going to be due on Friday, 3 o'clock. Please get it in. If anyone's missing any work as well, as long as you submit it, you guys get full credit for it. So just look at Genesis. Everyone's grades are up to date at this point. So check it out. If you're missing anything, or if you need help, just throw me a quick email. I'm here for you guys. So this is Mr. Nash signing off, and I'll see you when I see it.